In the bustling city of Greenwood, Officer David Turner, a white cop with a decorated history, patrolled the streets with a sense of entitlement. He had grown up with certain biases and stereotypes ingrained in him, and this tainted his interactions with the black community. One evening, during a routine patrol, David pulled over a young black man named Marcus Johnson, for what he believed was a minor traffic violation. Marcus, a well-spoken and educated man, tried to remain calm during the encounter. However, the subtle yet evident condescension from Officer Turner was disheartening. Marcus knew that he was treated differently because of the color of his skin, but he had learned to choose his battles wisely. Meanwhile, the current chief of police, William Anderson, announced his impending retirement, leaving the position open for a new leader to take charge of the city's police force. What neither David nor Marcus knew was that Marcus had been recommended for the position by Chief Anderson himself. Marcus had been working diligently behind the scenes, focusing on community-oriented policing and fostering better relationships between the police force and the diverse residents of Greenwood. His approach earned him respect and admiration from various quarters, including some influential city officials. As the city buzzed with anticipation for the new chief's announcement, Marcus found himself on the shortlist alongside David Turner. The selection committee included city officials, community leaders, and influential figures, but the final decision rested with the mayor. David remained oblivious to Marcus' nomination, believing himself to be the obvious choice due to his years of experience and apparent competence. He had no idea that his conduct towards Marcus during their traffic stop was his test, but his behavior sparked concern among the committee members. When the day of the announcement arrived, the tension in the city was palpable. As the mayor stood before the crowd, he hesitated for a moment before declaring, "I am pleased to announce our new chief of police, Marcus Johnson." The cheers from the crowd were overwhelming, but none louder than those coming from the black community members who knew Marcus as a fair and just officer. David was shocked and embittered by the decision. He felt that he had been unfairly overlooked due to his race, failing to realize that it was his own prejudices that had cost him the opportunity. He couldn't understand why someone he looked down upon was chosen to lead the force he had served for so long. As Marcus took over as the new chief of police, he wasted no time implementing changes within the department. He focused on increased diversity training, community engagement, and holding officers accountable for their actions. Marcus was determined to bridge the divide between the police and the citizens they served. Gradually, Marcus began to notice David's animosity towards him, and he decided it was time to address the issue head-on. He called David and requested a meeting, expressing his desire for a more unified and inclusive police force. The meeting with Marcus had a profound impact on David. He realized that his preconceived notions and prejudices had clouded his judgment and led to the consequences he was now facing. As Marcus shared his vision for the future of the police force, David began to see a glimmer of hope for redemption. Over the following weeks, David immersed himself in the diversity training programs initiated by Marcus. He acknowledged his own biases and actively worked on changing his mindset. Slowly but surely, David started to break down the walls he had built around himself. As time passed, David and Marcus developed an unexpected bond. They started working together, not just as colleagues but as friends who shared a common goal. Their partnership did not go unnoticed, and soon, the rest of the police force began to witness the positive changes in David. Officers who had once resented Marcus' appointment now respected and supported his vision for a more equitable police force. As the months went by, the changes within the Greenwood Police Department became evident to the community. Marcus and David's efforts resulted in a reduction in racial profiling incidents, a decrease in use of force cases, and an increase in trust between the police and the citizens they served. The city of Greenwood became a symbol of hope for other communities struggling with similar issues. News of their transformation spread far and wide, inspiring other police departments to follow their lead. As Marcus Johnson's retirement approached, the city of Greenwood prepared to bid farewell to their beloved chief of police. A grand ceremony was organized in his honor, with city officials, community leaders, and residents coming together to celebrate his illustrious career and the positive changes he had brought to the police force. During the ceremony, Marcus took the stage to deliver a heartfelt speech. He spoke about the challenges he had faced, the mistakes he had made, and the lessons he had learned along the way. With pride and hope in his voice, he introduced his successor, David Turner, as the incoming chief of police. The crowd erupted into applause, although some attendees were initially taken aback by the announcement. However, Marcus knew that David had transformed into a leader worthy of guiding the police force forward. The moment was a symbol of unity and reconciliation, showcasing how far both men had come on their respective journeys. David's first actions as chief were focused on ensuring continuity with the initiative started by Marcus. He emphasized the importance of diversity training and community engagement, which had been instrumental in transforming the department's culture. Additionally, he introduced new programs aimed at improving communication and trust between officers and citizens. David, however, remained steadfast in his commitment to fairness and equality. He urged the force to stand united in their pursuit of a safer and more compassionate Greenwood. One fateful evening, a high-profile incident occurred that tested David's leadership and the unity of the force. A racially charged confrontation between a group of protesters and police officers resulted in injuries on both sides and sparked outrage in the community. David knew that this incident could exacerbate existing tensions and undo the progress made by him and Marcus. He swiftly initiated an internal investigation to uncover the truth behind the altercation, emphasizing the importance of accountability and transparency. In a show of strength and unity, David addressed the community, acknowledging their grievances and assuring them that justice would prevail. He took decisive action against any officer found guilty of misconduct, sending a clear message that the department would not tolerate abuse of power. Over the years, the Greenwood Police Department evolved into a model for other cities struggling with similar challenges. Under David's leadership, it became one of the most diverse and community-focused police forces in the country. The department's positive reputation attracted talented officers from various backgrounds who shared a passion for serving with empathy and integrity. Officers like Carla Ramirez, a Latina officer, and Malik Williams, an African-American officer, became exemplary leaders in their own right, contributing to the department's transformation. The story of the Greenwood Police Department became a beacon of hope for a nation grappling with issues of systemic racism and mistrust in law enforcement. They inspired countless individuals, both within and outside law enforcement, to challenge their biases and actively work towards building a more inclusive society.